Hey Rebel Scum, Mad Witch here, and today I got a goodie. It's a doozy. So, if you haven't seen Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens yet, this is your own damn fault. There will be spoilers. You had plenty of fucking time to watch it. So, if you didn't watch it and you still want to watch it on the upcoming Blu-ray or whatever the fuck the kids are watching nowadays, bye. For those of you who have seen it, I come across, so I'm, finally this is one of those times where I'm not watching YouTube. I'm just scrolling through my G+, and, I see this post in one of the Star Wars forums that I'm in. And just to let you guys know, I'm sorry, I just got out the shower, my nose is a bit runny. Just to let you guys know, I am an old school Star Wars fan, which means I like 4, 5, and 6. Classic. Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, those guys. So, and I absolutely hate the prequels, 1, 2, and 3. I don't like them. They ruined Star Wars for me for a while. And all I had left to do was just stick to the video games and the classic movies. Well, this guy, wagsmytag, and I'm not even shitting you, that's what his YouTube name is wagsmytag. It's all lowercase, one word. Star Wars, The Feminist Awakens, brutally honest. So this carrot top looking wannabe is saying that Star Wars Force Awakens is nothing but feminist propaganda. I'm using audio only as usual, and what I'm using is under fair use law.
wagsmytag coming back strong inside your eye, and today I'm talking about Star Wars The Force Awakens. That's right, the most hyped movie of all time, the most financially successful movie of all time, just released, and now we can talk about it and its secrets in entirety. So without further ado, I'm going to give you guys my brutally honest review of what happened and what should have happened, because this movie had some great moments. I can't fault it on some great moments, but there are some major plot points that get at me so badly, and I guarantee that I'm not the only person that feels that way. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's talk about Star Wars The Feminist Awakens. That's right, I say Star Wars The Feminist Awakens because this was the most feminist, pro-women being more intelligent than men and more incapable than men movie than I've ever seen in my entire life. If you guys can comment one more feminist movie in the bottom, I would love to hear it, because this movie blew my mind with Rey and her absolutely incredible feats that were impossible. That's why I say they were incredible, because they were completely impossible and outside the realm of reality in the Star Wars universe. Am I right? Shamana High, can I get an amen from my friends? I'm telling you guys right now, we see Rey in the initial scene. She is an intelligent temptress that lives on Jakku. She knows how to scavenge and she knows how to survive. But guess what? Does she know how to be the strongest Jedi Master of all time? Because she comes out and she is absolutely infallible. If you watch the movie, what is one thing wrong that Rey does? What is one moment where Rey becomes weak? What's one moment where Rey didn't have all the answers, wasn't the smartest person in the room, and wasn't the greatest Star Wars character of all time? It's absolutely...
Now, I wouldn't say that she was the greatest Star Wars character of all time. Me, still, personally, it's Chewbacca. Alright? Okay, I take that back. It's a tie between Chewbacca and R2-D2. Alright? Those are my two favorite characters in the Star Wars universe. As for her being smarter than guys and infallible and has all the answers, look at young Anakin Skywalker from the first movie. 9-year-old little kid. Tatooine, Jakku, they're pretty much the same planet. As in, they're both desert planets. the inhabitants of those planets need to, survive in some way, shape, or form. Rey does it by scavenging parts and selling them off, while Anakin did it working at, a junkyard. So, really, there's no difference between, in my eyes, there's no difference between young Anakin Skywalker and Rey. Except age, obviously.
Ridiculous. This chick was infallible. If you guys watch the movie, you learn that every single scene she's fixing something because every guy in the movie doesn't know how to do it. She's piloting the Millennium Falcon better than Han Solo. She's fixing the Millennium Falcon better than Han Solo. She knows facts about the Millennium Falcon better than Han Solo. She has better lightsaber skills than a Sith apprentice that is trained under the dark side of the Force for many moons. I'm telling you guys, she learned...
Hold on. I'm sorry.
Force abilities within touching a lightsaber. Last time I checked, you have to go train with Yoda in a freaking swamp for a year before you can even pick up a lightsaber. This is absolutely ridiculous dribble.
Okay, so he gets on the fact that Rey, a woman, is able to pick up a lightsaber and use it. But then what about Finn, a man, who, again, we don't know if he's Force sensitive or not. We do know Rey is Force sensitive. So Finn, a non-Force sensitive male, picks up a lightsaber and uses it with practiced ease. Like, it was, I can understand, yes, Finn's a stormtrooper. He has combat experience. But anybody who knows the Star Wars universe like I do, you need a bit of the Force in order to actually properly wield a lightsaber. Han Solo picked up Luke's lightsaber and cut open a fucking tauntaun. As for fixing the Millennium Falcon, piloting the Millennium Falcon, and knowing more about the Millennium Falcon than Han Solo, one, she didn't pilot the Millennium Falcon better than Han Solo. Alright? No one can pilot the Millennium Falcon better than Han Solo. He's the shit. She even, and this is the infallible. When her and Finn and BB-8 first got into the Millennium Falcon, all she was doing was basically spinning and crashing into shit. That's all she was doing. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was an awesome chase scene, but she didn't know. As for her knowing how to fix the Millennium Falcon better, yeah, of course she is. Again, on Jakku, the very first time we see her is she's in basically a ruined husk of a Star Destroyer. So maybe being around all that, technological advancement, maybe she picked up a thing or two. In real world, in our world, Earth, people back in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, you know how people got their living? By breaking shit and then putting it back together. That's how people were able to get their professions in mechanics. My biological father is a mechanic. Never went to school for it. Never. And he's a mechanic. And he knows how to fix stuff. As for knowing more about the Millennium Falcon than Han Solo does, again, she spent her time around spaceships. She's going to learn a thing or two about pretty much all spaceships, since that's what she has to deal with in order to survive and strive.
Feminists put straight into our minds, guys. They wanted to make a strong female character, but they ended up making the strongest character in everdom. I'm telling you, if Rey would have went against Superman, she would have had a great shot, because she has taken 0 L's thus far in the series. It's absolutely ridiculous. You learn
What about Lara Croft from the Tomb Raider series? Lara Croft is the main person. Her in and of itself, she is the most badass chick ever. I don't know. Troll me on this one. Lara Croft, the Tomb Raider movies, She is the most badass chick ever. Even in the video games, she has been proven to be more capable than her male counterparts. So, are you going to say that Lara Croft can beat up Superman or have a fair chance against Superman? That's comparing apples to oranges.
Learned Jedi mind tricks before she knew what Jedi mind tricks was. She says, leave the room with my shackles off. Like, how did she know that was going to work? When you watch the original A New Hope, you learn that Obi-Wan Kenobi has the Jedi mind tricks because he's been training for freaking years, dog, in a temple, dog. I'm telling you right now, Qui-Gon Jinn would be flipping over in his grave because this movie is absolutely outside of the realm of possibility. It is a straight-up rehashing of Star Wars A New Hope, and it is a bad rehashing at that. I can't...
So, the scene he's talking about is okay, for those of you who have seen the movie, for those of you who haven't seen the movie, if you stick around and you haven't seen the movie, this is your own fault. There's a point in time where Rey was captured by these new villains. Kylo Ren, in a previous scene, tried to do a mind meld with her, trying to get into her head, trying to figure out all the secrets, yada yada yada. And she basically beat him off. She did not understand what was going on. You can see it in her face. She was like what the fuck? What the fuck did I just do? And then a couple scenes later, there's a stormtrooper checking up on her and basically talking shit like they always do. And yeah, she tries it a couple times. Leave the room, uncuff me, let me go. She tries it a couple times. First couple times it doesn't work, but the next time it's like, okay, it works. This is now a third example of what I like to call the natural ability theory. In Star Wars Episode 1, we see young Anakin Skywalker. He is a 9-year-old on the planet Tatooine, and he has an extraordinary ability for humans to be able to pilot a pod racer. Now, throughout the pod racing scene, you see that it's pretty well dictated on reflexes. And I can understand why Anakin is the only human who can possibly pilot a pod racer. Young Annie is still a Force sensitive. He doesn't know that he is Force sensitive. And yet he is still able to use his Force sensitive abilities, being that he has heightened reflexes. Now let's go to classic Luke Skywalker. Because of the way that Luke Skywalker lived, he had more of a persuasive personality. Even in the books, Luke Skywalker is played out to be more of a dictator than a soldier. So Luke Skywalker being a Force sensitive, and he originally did not know he was a Force sensitive person until Ben finally told him. But still, he had that natural persuasion going on for him. And that is, again, another Force-sensitive ability that Jedi and Sith have. Now, Rey's ability. Now, these are just the main characters. Alright? The ones that we actually got to connect with throughout the movies. Now, Rey. She's a Force-sensitive, just like Anakin and Luke. She does not know she's a Force sensitive, just like Anakin and Luke until they are told. And she has a natural Force sensitive ability. Hers is being strong of will. Now, normally through Jedi training, you will become stronger and stronger within your will, so that way your will can be perceived as a physical manifestation, being that of the Jedi mind trick, or push and pull, Jedi throw, Jedi jump, whatever. These are all these are natural abilities. She realized her potential when she combated the so-called Sith apprentice. There's there is a point to where you have to realize that even Kylo Ren, for many moons, he says, we don't know. One, we don't know how long he was trained under Snook. Two, we don't know how long he was trained under Luke Skywalker before he started being trained under Snook. Here's the thing. The balance of the Force right now is actually in turmoil within Kylo Ren himself. So, Kylo Ren's Force abilities might be a little less than what would originally be with a trained Force-sensitive person, be he Sith or Jedi. So, this argument of his is that she's able to use all these Force sensitive abilities. She has a strong will, and that is very important in order to control any Force power, is your will.
Can't fault every single moment of the movie because there was visually some great moments. If you spend $100 million on something, it's probably going to look pretty tight at some point during the feature. You know, I like the new droid. It's pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? But at a certain point, the whole movie is just absolute dribble, rehash garbage that was fed to us, and people clapped after the end of this thing. I watched this as a Star Wars fan, and I was cringing, because this is absolutely what I didn't want to see. At least when I saw Phantom Menace, there was pod racing. But I'm saying this movie was a straight-up remake, rehash of what had already been done in multiple places. Like, J.J. Abrams was as lazy as somebody could have possibly been. I'm telling you, he literally pulled moments from other Star Wars movies, put it in this, and profits. That's all he did. That's all he...
The reason why J.J. Abrams did this is because he wanted to create a bridge between the old generations, the guys and gals who like the classics like myself, and then the new generations, the ones that like the prequels 1, 2, and 3. He wanted to create a bridge so that both generations, both young and old, classic and prequel, can enjoy the film at the same time. Yes, there were a lot of things that were already done in a new way, mind you, but yes, it was already done. The bigger Star Killer, this version of this movie's Death Star, and then yes, of course you got your aerial battles and everything else, but that's Star Wars. That's just Star Wars in and of itself. And, you know, I can't fault BB-8. BB-8 is awesome. But R2-D2 is better. And he's actually going to be getting on R2-D2 as well, which pissed me off.
He will ever do. I'm telling you, I lost some serious respect for J.J. Abrams with this movie. It was absolutely ridiculous. You see Star Wars, The Feminist Awakens, and you immediately notice that there are some parallels, except the whole Star Wars universe has been feminized. If you look at the Empire, we now have Phasma. She's a Empress. I still say Empire. They call it the New Order, but it's the Empire. You have clones on your squad. It's the Empire, right?
They're not clones. They're stormtroopers. The Clone Project was actually disengaged between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. So, and they started to recruit soldiers that are now known as stormtroopers. Clone troopers were cloned. They didn't live as long, and they weren't as effective as ones who lived longer and were basically brainwashed.
They have Phasma. She's the high-ranking, army leader that has earned her spot in metallic armor, right? And you think that she's going to be some kind of new badass temptress character that is awesome, but it turns out that she is a scrub that drops the shields for no reason. She says, "You can't do this easily, Han Solo and friends." But then she drops the shield. She's like, you won't get away with this unless I drop these shields. She like gets blown up. She gets her whole people blown up. But by dropping the shields, she could have just said no. But she ends up going to the freaking dump disposal and turning off the shields. I'm telling you, Phasma, dumbest character ever, right? Then we go straight back to the planet. Oh, what? It's a Death Star that destroys 5 planets this time? Well, that's pretty neat. You know, Death Star version 3, you know, like they couldn't have done anything differently and then maybe save the Death Star for like the 9th movie installment, you know, wait till this trilogy's over and then bring in the multi-Death Star. No, now we're going to have an even bigger Death Star. It's going to be the Sun Death Star, the Sun Destroyer, the Sunburster. It's absolutely ridiculous. Destroyed in the same exact way. You go inside, you blow up one thing, the whole planet explodes. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm telling you, the feminist themes even go farther.
So, you're saying that all those Death Stars that ever existed and they're blowing up because of a womp rat size hole or someone flying into the ship and blowing it up from the inside is illogical, then stop watching Star Wars. All right? Just stop watching Star Wars. Because all Star Wars is there's a weak point, exploit it. Blow the son of a bitch up. You know, you got this big ass weapon. There's going to be a weak spot. Always. You gotta blow it up. And it wasn't as easy as you say it was. Not like the trench run or just flying in and then flying back out. It wasn't that easy.
So you have a new Yoda character introduced. She's a small orange woman instead of a small green man that lives inside of a bar, right? The sage of our universe, the person with all the answers, is now a little woman Yoda. Literally, they've completely feminized the Star Wars universe. And it is absolutely, it's eating me up inside. You know, if they want to do it with Rey, that's fine, but they've tried to, you know, put it out through the entire movie, and it gets to me. The suspension of disbelief is completely gone. We keep moving farther. So Han Solo, a lot of people, you know, like Han Solo. He's dead. He got killed by his son on top of a bridge while everybody's watching. It was like the most cliche thing. They wanted to be so art.
I almost crushed my girlfriend's hand when that came by. So pissed. But for storyline, it had to be done. I'm still pissed, but I understand.
See with this.
I'm sorry.
But it was so cliche the way that it was done because, oh, there's Rey and Finn, and oh, Chewbacca's watching, and oh, they're about to be friends and hug, but then he kills him. Oh, I didn't see that coming. If you're in the Star Wars universe, you don't go on the bridge. The bridge gets you killed or chans chopped off every time. I'm telling you, Han Solo deserved that L. He could have went anywhere else in the universe, maybe try to phone call him, maybe try to talk about his mom, maybe try to say, hey, Darth Vader didn't, he wasn't on the dark side at the very end of that. Maybe you could factor that in because your grandfather wasn't even evil at the end of it and you still think he was. I'm telling you guys right now, there are many plot points that I think that you guys would agree with me. When they went inside the bar, like they went inside the 1,000-year-old lady's bar, they brought in BB-8. Literally, they are a black dude and a chick. They're like, nobody knows who they are. But when you bring the orange ball droid that there's one of a kind of, and you bring that in to a public forum, or cantina, if you will, there's gonna be some problems. You know what I'm saying? They freaking left Chewie with the Millennium Falcon, but they couldn't leave the most wanted droid in the freaking universe there. I'm telling you, R2-D2 had a dead battery. Why does that make any sense? R2-D2, like, I'm telling you, Princess Leia owns a galactic star system fleet and can't afford a battery or a new arm for C-3PO or R...
For those of you who don't know, C-3PO had a red arm when he was reintroduced. As for R2-D2 having a dead battery, it wasn't a dead battery. There was actually a scene where it showed a mechanical hand touch R2-D2 and R2-D2 shut down. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. A mechanical right hand. If anybody remembers, Luke got his right hand cut off and then turned it, and now he's got that mechanical hand. Touched R2D2, and R2D2 shut off. So there had to be some sort of force play within that. Some sort of like saying, no, you're not going to get this, because in the storyline, Luke Skywalker ran away, he's hidden. R2D2 has most of the map, which he's going to get into it. BB-8 had the last little portion of the map. And as for BB-8 not being back on the Millennium Falcon, you know what? Everyone was looking for the droids in the classic one. So, and R2D2 followed Luke like a little puppy dog. You know, if Abel, BB-8 followed Rey like a little puppy dog. Just like R2D2. So that's why the most wanted. And you know what? There were problems. Alright, because both the Empire and the Rebellion were in that bar. You see this one person go by and says, I found the robot, calling the Empire. And then another person says, hey, the robot's back. And that was the person from the Rebel Alliance. So both sides knew that BB-8, the most wanted droid in the universe, was there. And as for BB-8 being a one-of-a-kind droid, that's like saying R2-D2 was the only R2 unit. The BB unit was, BB-8. That means that BB-8. He was probably the 8th unit. R2-D2 was a Delta class, and the second one made.
R2D2, the whole movie's about a freaking map that they were looking for. A map, right? And it turns out that R2D2 had a 95% of the map. They said, we don't know any coordinates of where Luke Skywalker could possibly be. Well, why don't you ask his best friend and see if he has any information on the subject, instead of everybody else flipping out. That's what they're talking about. Kylo Ren. Oh, he left because Luke left. Oh, that's so sad. Like, well, oh my God.
Wrong. It's the opposite way. Luke went into exile, into a self-exile, because, well, everybody knows that Luke tends to be a whiny little crybaby. But he went into exile because Kylo Ren turned to the dark side, and Luke thought he failed Kylo. Or, in this case, Ben.
Guys, I'm telling you right now, this movie was absolutely ridiculous. I don't know if it was because the dark side was so scrubbish. I'm telling you, the worst the dark side has ever been is Kylo Ren. Because you see him and originally think that he is a badass, universe destroyer, amazing person, but it turns out he's a little baby back bitch and cannot do anything. He gets mind melted by Rey, who's never even seen the Force used in application, by the first time they meet and mind melt with each other. You guys saw it. You guys should be upset about it because it was absolutely unreal. I'm telling you guys right now, Kylo Ren got destroyed. I don't care if he got shot by Chewie with a laser. He got destroyed. I'm telling you, he should have killed Finn in 3 swings. It should have been swift and clean, but nothing happened. Finn gets to live because Kylo sucks. Finn's going to end up beating him down the road because he sucked right there. And then,
for those of you, I mean, this is controversy in and of itself. I already told you my theory of natural ability within the Force-sensitive community. Now, Finn, being a non-Force-sensitive, yes, should have lost to Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren was shot by Chewie's crossbow, which should have obliterated him to begin with. But, seeing how it didn't, it majorly wounded him. Kylo Ren, being a Darksider, I guess you can say, is, he was toying with Finn. You could see how he was toying, and he was bragging and all this other stuff. And it wasn't like they were constantly in a saber duel. It was 1-2 swing, back off, punch my side, stop the bleeding, talk some trash, scream and yell, another couple swings, and that's how that saber duel played out.
Lets a chick that has never used the Force outpull him with the lightsaber, like they were both trying to force the lightsaber to them, and you let Rey outdo you, then outbeat you? What? What is the point of getting dark Sith? He was trained under Luke Skywalker and a Sith master, and gets beat by Rey by default level 1 Rey. This is absolutely
One, we don't know what ranking Snoke is, or even if he is a Sith Lord to begin with. There's absolutely no information about Snoke from what we've seen in the movie. So to make that assumption that he is a Sith master, other than I will complete your training at the end, whatever. And that's what Snoke said to Kylo Ren. Come to me, I will complete your training. So that in and of itself was basically like Luke saying, with Yoda says, I need to complete your training. Same with Snoke. As for the lightsaber pull battle that they were having between Rey and Kylo, again, natural Force sensitive ability. She had a stronger will. A much, much stronger will than Kylo Ren. Case in point, Kylo Ren is still struggling internally with both the light side of the Force and the dark side of the Force. He is struggling. He doesn't know what he wants. He doesn't. He has a very low will. For a Force user, I should mention. For a Force user, his will isn't where it's supposed to be. And that's why Rey beat him. And as for Rey being, again, it all comes down to natural ability. Rey is a strong-willed individual. We see it from first scene. Very first we meet her, we understand that she is a very strong individual. Very strong of mind, very strong of will. That is why she can control the Force, even not knowing the Force, just a tad bit better. He makes it seem like she outright beat Kylo Ren. I am going to say, hands down, that if the saber fight between Kylo Ren and Rey were to went on any longer, Rey would have died. She would have lost. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Real in every sense of the way. I'm telling you guys, this rehash of A New Hope is unbelievably unbelievable, and I cannot stand for it. And at the end of this movie, the people have the audacity to clap. I'm telling you right now, this is arguably the worst Star Wars movie ever made. Not visually, but from a story perspective and a character perspective and a backstory perspective, it is nothing of value. You know what I'm saying? It is a rehashing, at least with The Phantom Menace. It was new stuff that was brought up in a different kind of world, and it wasn't just the same freaking movie made over and over again. It's like each Star Wars movie had cooler lightsaber fights than this one. This movie had the worst lightsaber sequences out of any Star Wars movie. Am I right? Guys, I'm telling you, it's a Star...
No. Being part of the Kendo martial arts, the lightsaber battles in this one were actually more realistic than in any Star Wars film. For instance, Obi-Wan Kenobi as Ben fighting Darth Vader, all it was I will become stronger. And then throughout 1, 2, and 3, all it is just show and flash. Most of these moves, if you were to do most of these moves with a sword, you're cutting something off. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're going to end up fucking up. I mean, I've seen masters, and they don't even handle their swords the way that they handle their lightsabers. So, in the 7th one, it is more realistic. Except for the crossing of swords or biting. So I don't know where you're getting your information from, but no.
Star Wars movie, I could listen to the music and be happy. There were moments in this movie that made me happy, but in the overall, at the end of the day, I'm telling you, I had a bad taste in my mouth because this movie was lazy and it was a straight up mission to just blast feminism in front of our face. You know, I'm all about equality. I'm all about humanism, not feminism. I'm not about women being equal to everybody else. I'm all about everybody being equal to everybody, regardless of age, sexual orientation, color, or how.
Okay, so you're counteracting yourself. You're saying I'm for humanism, but I'm not for feminism. I am not into women being equal to men. I am in equality for everyone. Doesn't that include women? I mean, you just contradicted yourself. Just saying.
Old you are. I'm telling you guys right now, Star Wars: The Feminist Awakens was a subpar movie that is going to make so much money it frustrates me. I cannot believe that this is what we're having. I cannot believe we live in a world where there's going to be female Ghostbusters because they want to sell more movie tickets. Guys, Wags My Tag, signing off.
Female Ghostbusters. That would actually be very interesting. Now, me personally, I'm not a feminist. I do believe in equal rights for everyone. I don't care who the hell you are. We live in America. You know, we have rights. And everybody should have those rights. So having a strong female character finally in a Star Wars film is, you know, to me, great. I love the idea of Ren. She was not overplayed. She wasn't underplayed, but she wasn't overplayed. Everything in... You keep talking about story and plot and everything else, but you have to realize that there were plot holes even in the original classic trilogy. There were still plot holes. The storyline in and of itself is amazing. And as for character renditions and again with the rehash, it's J.J. Abrams meant it to be a bridge. So that way everyone can enjoy it. As an old school Star Wars fan, when I heard that Disney was making a 7th Star Wars film, my heart dropped out of my asshole. I wanted to cry. I said, no, 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 I kept on saying, they're probably going to end up breaking out into fucking song and dance and all this other bullshit. Then one of my buddies says, hey, J.J. Abrams is making a movie. I was like, might have a shot. I was like, might have a shot. If it's J.J. Abrams, it might have a shot. So, me, him, his girlfriend, my girlfriend, we go out and we watch it. You know, a little double date. We go out and we watch it. And yeah, there was applauding, especially during the rolling the Roland storyline where da 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 da, you know, it was, you know, everyone clapped, I clapped. I was just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Like yeah. When it started introducing, you know, characters that we knew and grew up with, it was like, yes! Oh, fuck yeah! You know, everybody was yelling in the theater. I mean, there was no such thing as quiet in our theater. No, not at all. And yeah, everyone applauded, young and old. Fans of the prequels, fans of the classics. Everyone enjoyed it. I walked out of there and I said, I now have hope. I now have a renewed hope in Star Wars. And that's coming from a guy who loves the classic and hates the prequels. I have hope for these new movies. Now, there's rumors going around that J.J. Abrams is not going to be making 8 and 9. If anybody can correct me on this, please send me any links. I would like to know for sure if he is or is not going to be directing 8 and 9. If he's not, I'm probably not even going to give it a chance. If he is, I want to continue watching it, and he did not disappoint. Every movie that I have ever seen by J.J. Abrams, he did not just disappoint. All of his visuals, storylines, everything is amazing. J.J. Abrams is an amazing director. He deserves his credit. And haters like wagsmytag, who and I'm seriously calling him out on being a sexist. I mean, you can't have that much hatred towards a strong female role like this. I mean, that is just, that in and of itself is sexism. To say that it's feminist because there's a strong female role. Well, you know what? There's a lot of films out there that have strong feminine roles. There's even a lot of TV shows out there that have strong feminine roles. Nobody complains about those. I watched Supergirl. Strong feminine roles. I have not heard one complaint about that. I've watched the Into the Badlands. It has some strong feminine roles in it. Granted, they weren't the main characters, but they were still strong feminine roles. Star Wars had pretty much no strong feminine roles. They had feminist roles, but not strong feminine roles. So, for all you haters out there on episode 7, from an old school perspective, was an amazing film, visually and by storyline, an amazing film. It has renewed my hope for the Star Wars films, and I hope it continues this way. Disney already ruined one franchise that I love. I don't want them to ruin another. So, if you want to be a sexist, go ahead and be a sexist, but keep Star Wars out of it. It's not a feminist film, it just has a strong female character. If you don't like strong female characters, you don't deserve to watch movies, period. Bye.